Okay, folks, welcome back to onemanmedia.us. This is Stevie Pham talking to you from Lincoln Village, San Antonio, Texas. And this is an addition to my previous video because by now probably you realize already all of my video uploaded to YouTube. It is unedited. So as I recorded and I just posted, it's just nothing, taken out even when I got a mistake or so. Maybe if I got a mistake, I'm gonna correct later. But in this case, I want to add into the previous videos because sometimes I forgot, or maybe sometimes I remember and I just instantly remember and edit in the real time when I was recording. So let's see what I have on the prompter this time. First, I do want to emphasize one more time the releases of my website as well as the software, the the unborn watch, the surveillance software. Also, I'm going to mention about my recording studio. And first, please go to the website and click on the tab, The Unborn Watch. You're going to learn a lot more about all kind of the great features of the software. But for now, I just want to mention about two policies of the software itself. Very good features. The first one is no privacy invasion. And the second one is no spyware or no tricks in the software itself. So the first one you're gonna see right away when you just go around the software. You see right away. One of the options is if you want to send the login back to my server, so without your permission, absolutely no error message gonna send back to my server. And for the second policy is the spyware. I did emphasize that on the previous video already, even to the extent that I use one of the Einstein video clips to convey the message that absolutely we have to use the technology and the science for the good purpose, not for the evil and for the shenanigan stuff. So I am very clear about this, and hopefully, Einstein in his own voice, can teach the technical community something important. And about the recording studio, I did mention that probably is not wise for me right now to open my door because I'm still feeling kind of very sensitive and under a lot of pressure in terms of the hidden dirty beings here around me to kind of give me a tough time. So let's wait, but maybe I have no choice because absolutely I have to get some source of income to at least first to be to survive, right? In terms of surviving, just remember, as a human race, nothing gonna be, no one gonna gain from the dirty environment. So that's why I say, in terms of the whole human race, if we want to survive, as Einstein say, we have to get the moral development very straight. Okay, now go to the first item I want to add. Okay. When people are asking for justice to be treated fairly, they are not persecuting Christians. So listening Christians are nothing about it, but they only ask for justice. So about the Bible itself, Absolutely, I heard it a lot, and even someone tried to preach me on that. Israel as the people of God. Let's say that doesn't matter who is the God. If try to say any nation, not just Israel, not just Israel. I have nothing against Israel personally. Like Einstein is a Jew. Who else? Jesus, absolutely. And who else? Maybe you can see Dr. Carl Hammer himself, also as a very authentic journalist. So that's why personally I have nothing to go against Israel, but doesn't matter who, or doesn't matter who is the God. If the God mentioned that, or just try to have a favor for Israel, I say that, let's put that God in prison. Doesn't matter how holy you think the Bible is, but if it say in the Bible that Israel as the people of God, just forget about it. Okay, so just try to be thoughtful Christians. It is nothing about persecution, but it's only they try to get the justice straight. Okay. And for the second item on my list here is about once again about Ngô Đình Diệm, because I did talk about him kind of a lot in a previous video. But one more fact I want to add is Ngô Đình Diệm seemed like he's affiliated with the Chinese Vietnamese, and that is sad, and I think there's something related, or maybe it's an added factor for his assassination. Could be. I'm not really sure about that, but I say the example is when he tried to escape from the military coup. Yeah, he came down to the Chinese Vietnamese church, belong to, we call in Vietnamese that nhà thờ Cha Tam, and it just simply translated as the church of Father Tam, and the father of the church is Chinese Vietnamese. So that's why I say maybe his administration was deeply, related or even controlled by the Chinese Vietnamese. So that's sad, and that is the fact that I don't like about Ngô Đình Diệm. Like I said already, according to my father, absolutely he say Ngô Đình Diệm was a good man, the moral leader, but for that fact, I think it's troubling me. Even I consider myself, maybe I have could be a small portion of Chinese blood in me too, because of the history of Vietnam. We had the long history, like 1,000 years of invasion from the north, from the north. I meant China. So that's why I say, even that, I say, absolutely, Vietnam is an independent state. At least it should be. Yeah, because the culture is tangled deeply, and even now, I say straightforward to the communist officers, I say, I doubt it, because your leader, just like the puppets of the Chinese government, the Chinese communists right now. So that is troubling too. And that's the reason why I say I try to add this point into my previous video, and also want to emphasize that with all kind of situation in Vietnam, I do think that the best solution for Vietnam right now is try to internationalize the whole nation, because if you don't internationalize, still a lot of something like that going on behind the scene, and the trading and the dirty under the tables. I absolutely don't like it. So now look like a lot of groups kind of got baited into the communist umbrella, and maybe they promise as long as you under the communist umbrella, you can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter what you kind of activities you conduct yourself or your group behind the scene. So that is very dangerous for Vietnam. So I absolutely going for internationalize Vietnam to be fair, publicly, fairly to all the groups. So at the current system, I do believe anyone try to bow to the communist rule, they got a benefit. But anyone go against or anyone independent, they almost have no voice. So that's sad. Okay. So one more point about because for whole my situation is complicated and the whole ordeal, I truly believe that the hidden dirty beings try to morph me into something they call leader, but at least they try to get a leader under their control, meaning that try to transform me to be what? To be their puppet. And one more time, hidden dirty beings, TD Farm absolutely is a puppet for no one. Absolutely no one. I'm only the servant of God. All right? So that's why I say I'm not really sure either USA or Vietnam or any political group in general is lucky enough to have me as a leader. Yeah, because nowadays they try to do a lot of trading in terms of they morph the leader into something, and the leader has to promise or has to got some kind of the dirty stuff, so the hidden dirty gonna use at the right time they want. So that's sad. And now, if you pay close attention to the political stage right now, you see a lot, even the trading between the parties. I'll take this out, and you guys gonna take the other one out on your side, something like that. Absolutely related to the I call the rattling snake season that's going on right now in Hollywood and in Washington. So just wait and see, much more interesting going on, and I will talk more about that later in this video too. So now let's say actually that's very much the next item I want to talk about, sexual harassment. I used to say harassment, but now I heard that a lot of people try to say that kind of the pronunciation. It should be the emphasis for the first syllable, harassment. This is still the man's world, right? This is still the man's world. So I just want to send a message to the ladies that, absolutely, I have nothing against the woman in general. Even I do recognize still the current world still belongs to men. Why? Because almost like you can say 90% of the important positions belong to men. So men still holding the power. But like I say, the world is going to the wrong direction. So who to blame? absolutely the man too. The man have the responsibility for the world. So I'm all for the empowering women. Absolutely, I am for that. And so that say a lot. That say a lot when I say yes. I blame the man for the wrong direction that the world is taking, and absolutely something is very heinous and something very vicious, going on behind the scene. But that's what's my take. Okay. Also. It's sensitive, but I have to say that because I know for sure one thing, the mainstream media, including Fox News, right? They just they don't have the courage, or because of the pressure, they're not they're not allowed to go go against the trend right now. The trend right now is what? The rattling snake season. So that's why I have to give my own angles about this one. What is it? Okay, so if you want to reduce the sexual harassment, definitely it's gonna help if the ladies not gonna show your breast to your co-workers that much, right? So one of the examples is very interesting because when the two co-workers of the Charlie Rose, the ladies, went on the show to condemn Charlie, and absolutely they dress very formally. It's not as usual because I know that those two ladies usually they dress very freely. No, nothing's wrong about that. But I just want to give my own views that in general, if you want to continue to improve the working condition, or you want to eliminate the sexual harassment, please don't use the cleavage. Don't use your cleavage to in the working environment at least. Okay, so. So now I want to step into also a very sensitive question. So between the prostitutes and the salacious secretaries, so salacious are meaning that the secretaries who try to please their boss or try to get the promotion by using kind of the sexual advantage, or try to give in to their boss in the wrong way. So between the prostitutes and them, the salacious secretaries. So who are more decent? From my own experience, definitely I say that the prostitutes they play the clean game, so they are more decent. I still remember on one occasion when I talked to my one of relative in Vietnam. I said that even the leader like Ho Chi Minh, you just have nothing to compare with the prostitutes. Yeah, because I truly think that the mass murder like that, absolutely just nothing to compare to the people like the prostitute, because after that he just react like he got an electric shock or something. So that is my very kind of sensitive view too. But like I say, from my experience, even with the prostitutes themselves and with the whole environment, the working environment back then in Applied Materials, I can say that absolutely I respect the prostitutes more in general compared to the salacious secretaries. Okay, that say a lot more on the topic, right? and last the rattling snake season continue. It is healthy, but in one condition, as long as it's true. Yeah, because you just cannot use that as the like kind of trading between the political parties. Yeah, because I feel like right now in both parties, Democrats and Republicans, they kind of trading. You take that guy out, I'm gonna take this guy out on my side, and the whole situation is just like they try to trade their pawns, and maybe they try to warm up for the main event. Main event, I'm meaning what? Maybe they're gonna rattle the snake of President Trump. Yeah, because I always say that when he announced he's gonna run for the president, I say he's gonna carry a lot of baggages into the White House, and the dirty beings gonna use those baggages to compromise him, to compromise the office of the president, and it's dangerous, very dangerous. So I'm gonna come back later, but that's enough for now. And one very good example and very good incident that I saw on the news related to Roy Moore victim, just the allegation, right? Because I just in this situation it's still complicated to me, so that's why I say when I saw she's telling the story related to Roy Moore sexual harassment, I feel like something wrong or something is kind of missing in there. Yeah, because from the beginning she said something about like he's trying to seduce or try to rope her, something like that, and then he say, and then he left and come back in his underwear, and so I questioned right away. So at the time, even when he left, if you didn't like it, so why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? So the question is very sensitive, but I want to raise it here because it's very interesting to me too. Yeah, because the question is, so was she waiting around to be effed? That is very critical question. Just be very straightforward and dig deep into the truth, right? So that's troubling to me. But at least I want to give my angles, because absolutely in the mainstream media you don't hear it, you don't see it. So that is my own angle on that. And so move on to the next item, is the item number 5 related to the Pope, because lately, maybe around 2-3 months ago already, but at that time I didn't, my serial of course is not ready to come back, so that's why I didn't record or say anything about it. But now I remember to add in to say that at the time Landbeck mentioned about the Pope was about to let the priest to get married, and this conversation is not new, yeah, because it's been around for a long time already. But I want to talk to the Pope saying that, okay, not to let the priest effing, but at the same time not to prohibit them to masturbate. Okay, it's really simple in the very plain words. I do believe that, okay, it's not good for them physically, mentally, to be prohibited in masturbation. So that is very critical. And but I think the whole thing related to the church, I say that it absolutely doesn't make sense in terms of who's Catholic and who's not anymore. So that's why I do expect the Pope to announce, okay, now the church is just like a social club. So for some churches, they are good, some churches, they are bad. So in terms of spirituality, okay, try to forget about it. Try to forget about it. Maybe even the pastor, the reverends, the priests, not many of them truly believe in the Bible anymore. So that's why I say it's good to even dissolve the church, or maybe now the church is just like a social club. So there are bad clubs and there are good clubs. So that's why in terms of letting the priests getting married, I think it's just distasteful. If you try to dedicate your life for Christ, for Jesus, hey, why? Why you try to abandon his own words? Because I remember that absolutely he asked his disciples even to abandon their own families to follow him, right? So that is related to Vatican and the Church and the Pope himself. And the final thing I want to add related to add to the previous videos is this one. I want to keep it just like a secret. Maybe later on you're gonna see that could be a prophecy, but keep in mind these four letters: T, W, O, I. I will come back to talk about these four letters maybe in a year or two. So you're gonna know what I am talking about. So absolutely relating to the current situation here in the political environment. So it's very interesting. So for now I want to keep it just like a secret, and later on you can see that could be a prophecy. But okay, very much I want to wrap up on the bonus video right here. Hopefully that is a very good addition to what I had to say in previous video, and for the sake of humanity, for the sake of human race ourselves. So okay, try your best to develop the moral standard as Einstein taught us. That's very important. And Einstein emphasized the moral development is a critical factor for human race to survive, not to think about anything else. Yeah, because now we very advanced in technology and science, but at the same time we still see a lot of barbaric actions, just like killing the unborn, and we see a lot of barbaric stuff going around in the even domestic violence, or shooting, or going to war between the nations. So one more time, moral development, people, moral development. Until the next video, so long.